Okay, and last but not least on these community board reports, we have Waikura, the Linwood-Central-Heathcote Community Board, and Sally, Chair of the Board. Welcome to the table this morning. Good to have you with us. Looking forward to hearing what you've got to tell us.
We've also got Shapai. Morning, Mayor and Councillors. We've got next slide. Yeah, this slide shows you what parking and road restrictions we've done in the last couple of weeks, months. And this one is what we've given out mostly under our discretionary fund has come out of. So there's several youth in the area have been funded to do a variety of things. We've funded a SIPTED report for Waltham Park, shade for the Scarborough Park playground, and it'll go on when it's been built. We've funded a security camera at the corner of Manchester and Aberdeen Street, and another 2 for Linwood Village, and a community centre activators wage, and we're going to fund a publication of photographic history of an area which is the Victoria neighbourhood area. So hopefully they'll produce a lovely big book like you've seen the one about Addington, Local Lives. And we also got a copy of that for our board, so we're going to give that to one of our local libraries to have there. And also some football goalposts at Woolston and Edmonds Park. Part A's we've got on the agenda this time, a Richmond Hill Sumner, the 40k speed zone, and the property review process, and you'll see that there's a few in there that we want to retain, we have uses for, and we've also got Jubilee Street in there for you to make a decision on. And we've got a petition that was given to the ITI committee in June, and we're just waiting for your decision on that one. Significant projects in the area. We're still waiting for the establishment for the Inner City East project group. We're still waiting for the establishment of the reference group for this project, and this was supposed to be established some time ago. I mean, it's 4 months into it, but we're still waiting for Te and Regenerate to establish that reference group. The Power Volunteer Library rebuild. The working parties continue to meet. Oh, we've got the wrong one. Continue to meet on this, and but I'm a wee bit concerned because I received an email this week about the costings. So I would really like the council to report back to our board on this, because I feel that it's sort of put a spanner in the works at the moment. Woolston Community Library, yes, this one is all complete. It's due to complete this month, and I think you've already got a invitation to the opening. Have you got the invitation there?
I can check.
I think it's in August.
It's August the 13th.
August the 13th, yeah. I think the invitation's gone out already, the opening of this, so we're very excited about that, opening again. Scott Park, we had a working party on this, and we had all the players in there with all the people who have facilities down there, all the clubs, and we've come to a pretty good plan for there, and they've taken it back to their groups, and depending on what comes back out of the groups, we'll see whether we need another working party meeting. Otherwise then we could just go out for consultation. And I think it'll end up as quite a nice park to actually visit, as opposed to just place where you launch boats from. So hopefully there'll be a jetty and picnic areas and other facilities there for people just to enjoy that area. Our public forums, we had Rosemary Hall and Deborah Talaga from Breast Screen Canterbury. They addressed our board seeking a suitable site in East Christchurch for breast screening and from their mobile unit, as there's actually no breast screening done in the east. If you live out that way, the closest one is Merivale or Northwood, and that's where you have to go to get it done. So I've actually been trying to work with them to get together to try and get a place at Eastgate Mall, but we are hoping, if not, we can go back into the Smith Street Park there or somewhere close by to get the unit out there. Mr. Bruce Stanton is a local resident. He addressed our board and he had a proposal to enhance accessibility and have a proposed walking and cycling track around the Woolston Cut on the true right bank of the Heathcote River. And this looked like a very exciting project. So if there was any money around for making a new walking track, I think there's a bit of an informal one there, but a proper one would be really great, especially if it could include cycling. It would be great. That would be a really great project to have to put up there. And Paul McMahon, a local resident, addressed our board regarding Environment Canterbury's draft long-term plan, which proposes modifications to bus routes 145 and 535, which are the Westmoreland Eastgate one and the Eastgate Littleton and Mapaki one. Our board suggested I write to ECAN about this, and I did email them about it, and I think some councillors have followed up on this as well, but I would be really like council to try and get to try and support us with this, because this is affecting our most vulnerable communities. Briefings. We received a briefing on the repairs and the proposed openings of the Nurses' Chapel and the Rose Historic Chapel, and you'll probably get invitations to that. Don't get invitations to the Rose Chapel, just to the Rose Chapel, yeah, because of government involvement in the Nurses' Chapel. And we received a staff briefing on the Redcliffe School Transport Scheme. We also have a research project happening in our area, and our governance team has contracted an independent social researcher, and they want to research about the needs of older adults in Greater Linwood and how what they need to become involved in the community. It will also inform the direction of an age-friendly community model in the Greater Linwood area. It will commence on the commenced on the 18th of June, and we're going to supposedly have a report mid-September. Now, matters of interest in our area, we've got the big chill coming up on the 7th of July, and I think they've got the date wrong there. The winter blast is actually on the 18th of July. It's got the 4th up there. Yeah. So that's always attended really well by lots of older people in our area. The Richmond Residents and Business Association, we have a lot of concerns expressed over the state of Richmond, and especially the shopping area down at the end where it meets North Parade, and Stanmore Road, North Avon Road, I beg your pardon, where it meets North Avon Road. And even though the businesses have had they've had working bees and they've been among themselves, they've been trying to talk to each other to try and get things cleaned up. It's one of those places where that whole shopping mall is owned by a whole lot of different landlords, so it's quite difficult to get things done. We've just ended up with a small planting plan around the end there as a starter, but they had an engagement evening at Avebury House on the 15th of May, and from that they've created a residents and business association, and they've now had a couple of meetings from that. So we're hoping that we can get some wins in that area, because it's looking really down and out, and so we would like some help with that. And if you haven't been to Avebury House recently, take the opportunity, because I think you've got an invitation to attend the opening of the House in New Zealand block and Evelyn Cousins Ave, and coming up soon. and that's in the same street. So have a look down there at Avebury House at the same time. It's amazing what they've got down there, the community garden and everything out the back, and you'd be surprised what they've got going on there. Just to let you know also that we decided that some of our meetings of our community board would be held in the community, and we've had one at Avebury House, and we've had one at Springfield Marae, and our next one is going to be at Hawawha on Pages Road. So I think that's the end.
Fantastic. Thanks, Sally, for the update. Just picking up on a couple of things. Obviously, the Woolston library, the Woolston facility opening, let's get those invitations out if we haven't done already, because I think councillors will definitely want to attend that. It's one that we've been talking about for a long time, and it's good to see that facility finally coming to the final stages and ready for opening. And similarly the Rose Historic Chapel as well, so that we can get those dates into our diaries. And then just coming back to the comments that you made on the bus routes. I mean, obviously the bus routes are a matter for ECAN rather than for the City Council, but that's not to say the City Council isn't interested. In fact, we've been very concerned about this. We wrote a reasonably strongly worded submission to ECAN's long-term plan. Our hope was that they wouldn't go ahead and cut those bus routes as they proposed, but obviously the outcome of the long-term plan is that they still propose to do that. They are going to do that. You mentioned in your presentation that you know, you've obviously had some engagement with ECAN, and a number of councillors, particularly from the affected wards of the city, including myself, have had some direct engagement with ECAN as well. We remain very concerned about the effects of these cuts. I mean, often it's the most vulnerable people in our communities that rely on public transport to get to essential services and to keep in contact with friends and family who are going to be most affected by these things. My understanding from the latest update is that ECAN staff are preparing a report which will be presented to their councillors. My hope is that that report will land before these cuts take effect. I've actually got a question in that I'm hoping to get an answer on that, and I'll circulate it when I get the answer. That may lead to further engagement with ECAN, but we're doing everything we can to make sure that we get the best possible outcome, because we realise how much this is going to affect people that rely on public transport for those essential services and to keep in contact with family and friends. So thanks for your part in continuing to raise that as well.
Thank you very much.
Great. Now, that doesn't leave us time for questions, unfortunately, but what I will do is ask for a mover for the report. So Yanni will move, Dion will second. Yep, great.
Just one thing that Sally mentioned in regards to the walkway along the river, that is actually supposed to be done as part of the industrial rezoning. So actually the developers were supposed to do that, and obviously it hasn't been done. So it would be really good just to get that clarified, but we can chase that up independently. So yep. I don't think it's just a case of us having to find money to do it, but maybe there is some very short-term things that we could do with current staffing arrangements.
Do you want, is council able to follow that up, or do you want the board to follow that up?
It'd be really good if council could follow that up, because it is quite complex through the whole district plan.
So just
zoning?
You mean feedback to the board?
Yeah, I mean, basically there's an outline development plan for the Kenaway farm when it was rezoned from really good biodiverse land, farmland, to industrial zoning, and through the district plan review there would have been changes to that.
The community boards had the briefing. Community board should ask the staff what they want to find out about, and then report back to the community board.
Yeah, it was a deputation.
It was a deputation, not a briefing.
Yeah, but you've had the information. Yeah. Council hasn't had that information.
We'll go through the community.
I just wanted to clarify that it may not be that it needs council funding, because it should be done by the developers.
Fantastic.
All right, so if you pick that up through the board, and of course if there's anything the board wants to refer through to council, you'll be able to do that. That's fine. So Yanni, thank you. Dion.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, based on what you were saying around Richmond Village and business association stuff, that it was a note that I saw a couple of days ago that the post shop is closed down in the Richmond Village because they just don't get customers at the moment, and so it is a real struggle with roadworks around that area, and just all the ongoing sort of stresses of that community is sort of just, you know, making it difficult. And just wanted to say that it's a bit of a sad thing for the post shop to go. The post services will go into the bin in, but you know, there is a lot of work to do in that area to try and, you know, bring people up and make that community vibrant.
Yeah, I mean, just the state of the car park there looks, you know, is terrible. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. I mean, that certainly was something that came through loud and clear in long-term plan submissions, and it's something that I know we've got a very close eye on. That's a part of town that certainly needs to continue to be a focus. So thank you very much for raising that. So this has been moved and seconded. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye. Against? That's carried. So that's the end of the Community Board report. That brings us neatly to 11:05. We've got morning tea waiting outside. Let's just take 10 minutes and come back at 11:15, and then we'll get into the Part A's and the rest of the open agenda. So if we can reconvene at 11:15, please. Thank you.